Hey everyone, okay, so today in this video we're going to be talking about brows and brow placement. In this video, well, I've done one very similar topic before. It's good to reiterate it because this happened to my friend just recently and it was most amusing for me, not so much for her. So she had her eyebrows threaded and the shape was beautiful. The placement was horrific. And this is why I want to talk to you about it, because it's important, because there is the standard way of doing brows. And I'm going to show you with a picture of me to show you how brows can look and go incredibly wrong. So bear in mind, everybody's face shape is different. Some have much larger faces, some have very narrow faces, square, whatever. That also has to be taken into account, as does your nose, because everybody's nose is different. So some people have very narrow noses and some people have wide nostrils or a wide bridge or both, who knows. So your standard plan was always to get a brush, go from the outside of your nose and go up. That's where your brow should begin. So let's take a picture of me and let's show you what that would look like if we were to follow this principle. So as you can see, by doing that, what happens is my brows become too far apart. They just look wrong. It looks wrong because for my nose is like a triangular nose, so it goes out like this, right? So by starting it here, we're cutting off part of the brow. So I'm just going to look like there's something wrong with me, you know? Who wants to look like that? Not me. The easiest way to go, and this gets even worse if you've got really flared nostrils, which I really like. And if they're flared, you're going to cut off even more of the beginning of the brow. And this is the funny thing, is that the farther apart your brows are, the wider your nose looks in person, but particularly in photos. So bear that in mind. So rather than going from here and bringing up, what I want you to do is try it from the bridge right here. So if you see, this is exactly where my eyebrow starts. It's right on the bridge. Now yours may be different. If it looks mental, don't do it. Either bring it out more or bring it in more, but this is a good place to start, right by the bone and go up. Try that first to see what it looks like. Now, regarding your arch, obviously we've been told to just cut through. This isn't a bad idea, but if you look straight ahead in the mirror, look at your eye, the shape and roundness of the actual eye, the coloured part, the iris, right? All the way around. Now take your brush and go outside, right on the edge, and go up. That tends to be where the brow will start to, let me just lift this up a bit, will start to arch. Oh, look at that. Bit of 1990 Sherilyn Fenn going on there. So that's where the brow should start to arch, right at the outside before we get to the white. Now, as far as, I don't like arch brows on me. You can do what you want. I don't like them on me. They make me look quite, what's the word? Sinister. I don't like that. Where your brow should end is dependent upon the shape and width, how far apart your eyes are. So if you've got very narrow eyes or they're very wide set, you may need to create a longer brow than you really have. But if your eyes are very narrow and very close set, you may actually be better off trimming some of the hair length away, because bear in mind that the eyebrow from here all the way around, that's the area that we fill in with colour. Now if you've got very close set eyes, but your eyebrows are out here, you've got all of this space to fill in, which is never a good thing. So your tail of your brow should end where it looks best on your face. But the main thing to remember is when you're getting your eyebrows done by anybody is to take into consideration the size of your face, but the shape of your nose. If you really are starting from here, and some people it looks great, but on a lot of people it doesn't because of the size of their noses. You're cutting off all of this area and you can look a bit mental. And I don't want to look mental. When it comes to colouring in your brows, I always think it's prettier and kinder to go with your own colour or a shade lighter. because we all know those people who God gave them beautiful brows, but they tore them off with their fingernails and drew them back in with a lump of coal with their eyes closed. Okay, we don't want to be those people. You know who you are. We don't want to be you. Same people who's got, you know, anyway, we don't want to be them. It tends to look more beautiful to have a slightly lighter brow, but that's dependent upon the shape, the color of your brows, right? So if you've got very, very fair brows, you will need to go a bit darker. But if you've got really taupe or brown eyebrows, it can look a bit softer on the skin to go a tad lighter. But there you go, it's all dependent. But there you go, some useless nonsense. Links down there for really good brow stuff. Basically, Anastasia Beverly Hills is what I use. It's the best stuff, I think. I find it wonderful. So that's what I tend to prefer. Charlotte Tilbury brow is absolutely amazing. The fibre one's really quite extraordinary. And there's some others that I've linked as well. But there you go. So just remember, don't always start here. Start from the bone just to see, and then we can work away. And remember, the length of your brow is dependent upon how mental it will make your face look, to create them too far out or too close in. So you can gauge that yourself. And the arch, right from the outer corner, just before the white, pop it up,